Hey, yo, shalom. All praises to the Most High. Your host with us to sound some YYBY. All right, so now, let me explain why the high res option that Reason came with in the version 12 update is very important. And there's a lot of people who think that's not very important. And I'm going to explain to you why. When you're dealing with the high res situation, right? First, you got to realize that the coding took a lot dealing with an old dog. So that's, it takes a lot dealing with an old dog compared to a new dog that came out a couple years ago. Also is that resolution is when you're dealing with large screens like this, or even if you're dealing with monitors or small screens, when the resolution is very low, a lot of people don't realize that because they might be dealing with, they don't realize that the resolution or the upgrade of the resolution high res is not important because they might still be dealing with 1080 screens or 1920 screens and stuff like that, or their laptop, whatever, right? So they not really seeing it. So, because you got to remember, a lot of the times you don't know what's good until you really get it. You don't know what you really need or until you get it. So now, keep that in mind. They might be dealing with those type of screens, and they might have a nice little monitor. They cool, but when you get a 4K monitor like me, or 4K TV, or your laptop or your computer's 4K compatibility, and when you're dealing with softwares that come out, like Studio One, Bitwig, what else? Studio One, Bitwig, and Cubase, and Reason. Well, before Reason, but when you're dealing with those DAWs, if the DAW is compatible to 4K and your screens are not compatible to 4K, you will have a lot of resolution problems, meaning that some stuff will be too large on your screen. They will be too large and too blurry, or very, very tiny. And peep this, let me tell you something, because now you got the option on your computer that's called resolution, that you can go in the option on your desktop, change the resolution of your screen. Then you got something that's called recommended, right? Recommended, sometimes when you set it, recommended, it'll work, it'll function well. It's more smooth, it's more everything. But when you turn that recommended down very low on the resolution, your computer have a tendency of moving sluggish. And this is why sometimes plugins might act crazy. They might crash on you. They might you might have all type of problems with any plugins or anything because they're not compatible with that certain type of resolution, or they haven't updated their third-party stuff to be compatible with that. So that's why they say recommended. But now, when you're dealing with a DAW and you go to that computer and you change it to the recommended, now every software on your computer is very large. Even though it functions well, it feels good when you're using the mouse, but it's very, very large, right? And you don't want that. You don't want it to be so large. So this is why it's important for a high-res DAW to give you their own zoom feature inside of the DAW. So you don't have to sit there and go to your computer, your main computer settings, and change that. You can keep it to a decent size, but go inside the zoom, the DAW, and then change the zoom levels on that. Because now you can go smaller, bigger, that can fit your screen. But a lot of the times, if you're dealing with third-party stuff, the plugins will look crazy, man. And they will cause functionality problems based on what the resolution setting is on. And I had to experience that when I first realized that Studio One DAW was compatible with the 4K HIDPI. So a lot of the DAWs is catching on, they're doing that. So this is why Reason had to step up and do the high res, because it's not only its clarity, it's very sharp, it's beautiful, it's sharp as hell, especially for those who already have bad eyes coming from the era of the old school DAW, Reason 4, Reason 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. They like, it's cool, but y'all don't understand what you missing and the compatibility and how it functions when you upgrade. You're gonna upgrade eventually. You're gonna either upgrade your computer or your laptop. And most computers and laptops, or they designing their computers to be compatible with 4K and 8K. It's no different than how much y'all like quality movies, man. You know, the clarity is very important. You know, because sometimes based on how you got your resolution set, it'll cause functionality problems with your plugins. That's a fact. That's a fact. I had to learn that. That's from experience. So now, you know, and then on top of that, you got to wait for everything to upgrade. So, but it's to a point now that a lot of these companies are catching on and they're upgrading their plugins to be compatible with 4K. Not only you want the VS2 and the VST3, but it has to be compatible with that resolution, or you're going to have all type of issues, man. So for those who said it don't matter, this is why it matters, because if you're dealing with the 1080 screens and the 1080 computers and everything, you got an old version of Reason, right? Like version 9, 10, and 11 or whatever it is. And then you decide to want to go get an update, you know, plugin that just came out and it supports 4K. You're going to have problems with that plugin. You're gonna have you're trying to wonder why it's not functioning right, why it's crashing, why it's doing all these different things, because your computer and the DAW that you're using is not compatible with 4K. This is why the high res information is very important, people. This is what I'm saying. If you got any questions, this is why. Peace.